YouTube, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my page. I'm gonna go ahead and start this, and I've been dying to make a video about this subject. This is a question I get asked all the time. What is it like living in Miami? To be quite honest with you all, man, living in Miami has been an amazing experience. You know, I enjoy every moment of living out here. But it didn't begin like this. It began with a struggle. See, when I first came to Miami, I initially came here because I had got drafted to the Rivals Professional Football League, which is the developmental league that helps players get to the National Football League. Now, after the season, I already knew that I was gonna live here, but I knew that it was gonna be a struggle. I knew that I had to relocate. You know, living in Miami made me a man. You know, I moved to Miami at 25 years old. I was in my mid-20s when I moved out here, 5 years ago. When it comes to relocating to a new environment, my best advice to you is make sure, number one, your finances are on point. Number two, you have a job secured. Number three, you have a place to stay. Because if your finances aren't there and you don't have a secure job and you don't have a place to live, you're gonna live how I lived in the beginning, which was a struggle. You know, when I first moved out here, I lived in a hotel in Miami Springs for a week. And then I ended up staying in an Airbnb with this family from Venezuela for 2 months. So I lived with a whole family for 2 months. After that, I ended up staying in a motel for 13 days. 13 days I stayed in a motel. After I left that motel, I stayed in another motel for a month. But the reason why I left the first motel is because of the roaches. There was so many roaches, so many bugs. But I didn't have a choice but to stay there. And then that second motel I stayed in had a bunch of mice running around. I mean, I'm talking about I'm sleeping and I see a mice, and I'm not good with rodents. Then after that, I ended up moving down south to this area called Kendall, southern Miami, southwest of Miami, with this Cuban lady and her brother. And I was a roommate. I stayed there for 6 months, right? After that, I ended up getting my own studio, my first studio apartment in Opalaka. And then I ended up moving within the same complex to another apartment, my first 1-bedroom apartment. And then now left that 1-bedroom apartment, and now I live on the beach. I would say my living situation has been a lot. I've lived in 6 different parts of Miami. So living out here, I know it pretty well. I know it just as much as I know Maryland, which is crazy. But overall, man, living out here has been dope, man. You meet a lot of significant people. You meet people that you will see on TV. Networking wise, man, I've networked with some dope individuals, man. Like people that I would never meet if I was in Maryland. But I would say the lifestyle here, man, you know, it's pretty dope. You know, once you're established in Miami, then that's when you really, you know, are able to live a better lifestyle, where there's so much to do out here. There's Wynwood, there's Brickell, there's South Beach, there's over by downtown Miami, Kiki on the River. You can go to the arena. There's so much to do in this city that you can easily get caught up and distracted. I had an experience, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I had an experience out here. These past 5 years living here has taught me a lot about myself. I'm talking about the scammers. I mean, I've been scammed. You know, prostitutes out here. Like, it's so much that goes down in this big city, Miami. When you live in an unstable situation, it teaches you a lot. You know, there was moments where I felt low. There was many moments where I wanted to move back. My mother wouldn't let me. She wanted me to grow up and figure it out. And that's what I did. Literally, I came to Miami with nothing but my football equipment and my bags and clothes. And I had to figure it out. I was pretty much living out of my car. You know, and this is not for the weak. Like, you gotta be a special individual. I mean, I'm talking about my bank account. I was struggling with $20 a week. I worked my homeboy's cleaning company, delivering food, Uber. I was security guard at the SLS Hotel on South Beach, also known as Hyde Beach. I was security guard at the arena where the Heats play. My early experiences were rough, but it taught me a lot. I learned so much and I've grown so much from those experiences. Now, dating wise has been up and down. You know, my early days, I would say early days of dating, it was both successful and I took a lot of L's because I understood the dynamic of Miami. You gotta have that bag. You gotta have that bag, y'all. You gotta have that bag. Fellas, you gotta have the bag. You gotta be stable. You gotta know where you're going in life, right? And during those early days, my finances weren't the best. But at that time, I was such an ambitious dude. I've always been ambitious because I had a football dream that I was chasing. But telling girls that it was a turnoff because I wasn't there. I was grinding. And I learned that a lot of women prefer a guy that's already there than a guy who's going through the grind and the struggle. And I was going through the grind and the struggle, training, working security, you know, working other side jobs just to make a living, just to help provide for myself and survive. You know, I was living in survival mode. You know, working a pool party, security, 13-hour shifts, you know, and once I got my first teaching gig at the C School Miami, that really created that stability in my life. Before that, man, I was working side jobs. This is all before education, working side jobs, security, nightlife, cleaning company, delivering food. Like I was doing all the side jobs. I had to drop my pride. I had to drop my pride to survive because I knew that my struggle, right? I knew I was gonna be in the struggle forever. And my boy Alfred told me this, man. I'll never forget what he told me. You are not what you're going through. What you're going through is not who you are. And then when he told me that, it stuck to me, and that's what kept me going. That's what kept me grinding each and every day. There was so many times where I wanted to end it. There's so many times where I was like, yo, I'm not even worth it. Because I was just doing nothing. I had a messed up knee. You know, I wasn't able to do anything. And those days, my early days living in Miami were tough, man. 2018, 2019 were rough. You know, I didn't really get stable until the end of 2019, going into 2020 when I really got stable. But going back to dating wise, you know, I dated a couple women. I dated 3 models, couple girls that work regular jobs, a public figure. You know, my dating experiences, it's been up and down. And one thing I learned, like I said, you gotta have the bag. Lifestyle wise, like nightlife is dope, man. Like, because I made so many connections when I work in nightlife, I'm able to maneuver through nightlife very effectively because of the great connection I had, the great connection I built within the city of Miami. The hospitality is up the roof. Like you gotta have some hospitality down here, especially going to work down here. You gotta have some hospitality. But the way people are, my experience, people are friendly, more loose. People be wilding out here. Like people just feel like they can do whatever they want. So Miami's people are very loose. But most importantly, man, networking. When you network with the right people, you can really conquer Miami. When you network with the right people, your network is your net worth. So, and I know this applies everywhere, but Miami in particular, you have to network if you want to level up. There's so many successful people that live down here. You see so many dope cars, exotic cars, but you have to network. That's how you're gonna get up top. And that's what I did during my struggle years. I was networking. I was setting myself up for where I'm at right now. And I still have ways to go. But I met so many significant people, and I'm so thankful that God put those people in my life. Going to the beach, man, I mean, when you live here, you don't go to the beach as much. You know, I live 7 minutes walking distance from the beach, and I barely go. Now, when I first moved down here, I was wild, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to the beach. I got the beach right here. But then, you know, you get used to it. You get used to the beach, the idea of the beach being right there. But this city's still beautiful. I still embrace it when I drive around. So, my lifestyle is great, man. I'm blessed. And I couldn't, you know, number one, I thank God. I thank my mother. I thank myself for the grind. I thank the people that God put in my life down here. So I just met the right people, and I put myself around the right people. You know, and who knows what will happen 5 years from now? But 5 years ago, I was 25 years old. You know, I was really young, just trying to figure things out. And I'm just thankful that, I'm very thankful, man. But anyways, man, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, do not forget to subscribe to my page. Again, this is my Miami lifestyle. What is it like living in Miami? What is it like dating in Miami? What was it like when I first came here? So y'all stay tuned for more from the Joe on Store.